Hey, this is Frank Nieta with Vision Quest Auto, and today we're going to be reviewing the brand new Honda Prologue EV. This particular model is the Elite Edition, which comes with all-wheel drive and all the bells and whistles, as every Honda that's listed as the Elite is. The interesting thing about this vehicle is that this is actually a partnership with General Motors. It's built on the GM's Ultium platform. Even though Honda was early on as far as like hybrids, they weren't as quick to adopt EV technology this time around. So they formed a partnership with GM, who's already had the Ultium platform going. And you'll see there's a lot of crossover in this crossover between Honda and General Motors. It's a really interesting blend between Japanese auto manufacturing and American auto manufacturing. It's actually a really interesting thing. So we're going to be showing you all about that. We're going to tell you how well this drives. We're going to talk to you about the range, whether it's worth it, and compare it to some other EVs out there. So, hey, let's get to it. All right, so here we are with the brand new Honda Prologue. And we're going to give you my impressions, talk about some of the features here, and just go give a walk around. First thing first, I'm not going to pop this because all it is a motor. There is no frunk. So that's a bit of a disappointment, especially because the inside of the cabin, the dashboard is significantly deep. And I mean that up close on you. It seems like there's a lot of space that's taken up. That's a criticism I have for that. One thing that's cool is, you notice it's got that electric grille for efficiency, which is nice. You do see the little front camera down there. One thing I'm pointing out here too is the Honda logo on this model is slightly different. If you're a Honda fan, you'll notice that the font of that H, I don't even know if that is a font, but the shape of that H in that Honda logo is a little bit different. Got this little air vent. I like that. These headlights that look like they're from an Accord, which is nice. It ties in with Honda. These Honda wheels are pretty cool. You know, a lot of EV wheels don't look very cool. These ones look pretty cool. I don't know if they look cool, but they look sharp. That's a good way to put it. Here is your plug. As you can tell, typical plug, nothing too exciting. There's not an indicator for charge life, but I don't know how many people stand there and look at that, so I don't mind that. I mean, you can find all that information either on the charger, either it's at your home or public, or you can find it inside the car itself, so don't mind that. I like the blacked out caps here. I like the blacked out handles, and I like this blackout trim down there. This is pretty nice. We'll come back and show you the inside there. I want to just keep walking around here. Really cool, like back. It's a little wide. So the shape of the car, the shape of this EV, the back end of it, that may not be your cup of tea, but I really do like the scripting of Honda on this. I think it stands out. It looks old school and still modern. It looks different. It's Honda telling you that this is a little bit different for them. This is an EV. It's got this capitalized H and then the O and the N, D. I love it. It looks a little bit like something you'd see in like Star Wars or something. It looks cool. And no, I know that I've knocked other cars for having different fonts that didn't match. I'm going to contradict myself. I like that. I like that scripting, even though it's different from the Prologue. The Elite then has the italicized thing. You come over, AWD looks like that. It looks like the same. That looks like the same font. And then you got the Ultium badge thing that's a different font. It kind of matches the Honda font, though, I guess. So I'll give it a slight pass. I'll also acknowledge that I'm kind of contradicting myself on this one. So we'll come back here in a second, but I do want to show you the front. Good amount of cabin space. This is what I mean, though. This seems just a tad pulled into you, for my taste. A lot of EVs have that expansiveness. Thinking about like Teslas, they have that expansive reach where it goes out towards that hood, and the hood also gives you that frunk space. So not a big fan of that, but it's nice looking. Different situation here in the back. You've got a lot of passenger space back here. Two USB-C ports, Let me see. Two USB ports and a household style charger right down here. That's nice. Or plug, I should say, not charger. No climate controls, but you have 2 vents. Let's check out this. Yeah, just a standard armrest, cup holder. Nothing too fancy, but nothing not fancy. It's got a really nice look. You know, it's got like this leather type of feel. 2-tone leather, some ventilated seat material, which is nice. You know, decent stuff. 2 map pockets in the back seats. There is hard plastic here. It's not the worst. It's not the best. Let's open this up. I'm going to knock something. This is actually something I really don't like. First, that wiper is small. So that's one thing. Also, this has given me a little bit of problems while I was setting up. I was just standing slightly far back over here, just setting up. It decided I was too far away and just randomly started to close. It's kind of annoying. I'm sure that there's a way to turn it off. I'm just going to note it though. I don't like it. I'm not going to be stupid enough to walk away and leave my hatch open, so I don't want it shutting on me. A decent amount of space back here. This is, you know, CRV level space, not pilot cargo space. So, you know, that's something to consider. But you do get this. This is pretty nice. You got a decent amount of space. You know, this is enough room for your chargers, but you can also set up down there too if you want to put some cargo down there. So decent amount of little extra space, which is appreciated, I'm sure. Yeah, okay, there we go. Yeah, I'm going to call this too, by the way, my fat guy in little coat of war. I know that this isn't that tall, but this looks weenie. I don't know. Now, let's get back in here. One thing I like here is got this, it's plastic, but it looks sharp. Looks kind of cool. Let's start this up. Here's something that's interesting. If you notice, this is not Honda's infotainment system. It's definitely GM's infotainment system. I think that's interesting that it carried over there. This is cool where it's got this digital display. It gives you a lot of efficiency stuff. You can see how much energy you're using. Just now while I'm going, it's only 2 kilowatts, but it's still taking up. It's telling me that. Gives your mileage, your range. It's nice, you know. Decent. You know, the controls are all, they make sense. It's got a Bose system, which sounds good. Doesn't sound bad. Doesn't sound outstanding. It's solid. You know, I think that's the general thing with this. It's solid. There's wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. I'll show you this. There's a couple of things that seem repetitious with this screen that I don't really like, that I wish weren't here. You know, it's a lot of repetitive information, it seems like, and it would be nicer if it wasn't there. And yeah, you can't turn it off that I know of. So that's a knock there. You do have, you know, everything as you would expect with this being an Elite. You know, you've got cooled and heated seats, a heated steering wheel. Yeah, nothing too fancy. Everything's in reach. It looks good. It works well. So yeah, it's a solid car, especially if you're looking at an EV. I think you'd really should be a Honda fan if this is something you're looking at over other vehicles, because I do think that there's some better values that you can get in the EV space. Something else I want to note with this is what's kind of weird. You know, this is that GM shifter. It was in the Chevy Blazer EV that I had. You push in the park here. This is the exact same shifter. It's kind of wild. You pull it out, you move it up to reverse. You know, you pull this out and up to reverse. You pull this out and down to drive. Just to give you a calm, you know, efficient state of mind. I feel like it's not made to be, you know, aggressive or anything, and you know, you really don't feel it. That said, you really don't feel the road. But all that said, it actually handles pretty dang well. So that's the weird thing about it, is it corners well, it handles well, it has quick acceleration, but you feel so little in the road, and the steering wheel, the steering touch is so far out that you don't really feel like, there's a way to put this without saying, you know, without sounding like Phil Jackson here, you don't feel as one with the car. At least I don't. I don't get that feel. And again, you know, that may not be important to you. If your primary concern is how much range does this have? Is it comfortable? Is it nice? All that, you know, cargo space, passenger space, all that kind of stuff. If that's more important to you, and I think it is to a lot of people, but you know, you might want the good ride, then that's fine. To me, I take it as a knock. I just wish there was a more connected feel with the road. This is almost, I think, here's what I'm going to describe the ride. This is how I'm going to describe it. If you've ever played a racing video game, whether it's Forza, whether it's Gran Turismo, whether it's just GTA, whatever video game or a NASCAR game, if you've played a car video game with a joystick or a joypad or, you know, a controller, a regular video game controller, this is what that feels like. And if you're like, well, I don't know what the difference is. Well, then play that same video game, but use a steering wheel controller and you'll see the difference. You can control this car and it's not out of control. Like, I can drive very well in Forza with just, you know, my Xbox Elite controller. Like, yeah, I can drive great in that, but it doesn't quite have the feel that if I had a steering wheel controller, I have more of a touch on what's going on with the car, where its benefits are, all that kind of stuff. I don't quite get that. Use my Google Analytics to look up what are people searching for against this car when they're trying to decide which car to buy. Should they buy the Honda Prologue or should they buy something else? So I'm going to give you my opinion on whether I think you should go with this or you should go with that. First one up is the Tesla Model Y. And I mean, this is an easy one, but it's not easy in some ways. Tesla's put themselves, well, Elon Musk has put Tesla into a political crossfire, in 2025. So, but I'm not looking at it from that point of view. What I'm saying is if you're looking at it from a political standpoint, that probably won't change you one way or the other. But if you're looking at it from just a car to car viewpoint, I think it's a complete destruction. It's like the Super Bowl, where the Chiefs were not in that game. I don't think this Honda's in this game against the Tesla. When you're looking at it from a point of view of cargo space, Tesla wins. It's got a frunk. It's got more cargo space. When you're looking at it from entertainment value, the Model Y has a rear seat infotainment system that's standard. You know, when you're looking at it from comfort, I think the Model Y is more comfortable. When you're looking at it from a luxury standpoint, the Tesla, I think, is a cleaner look. I understand, though, that infotainment system is all touchscreen. So I get why people may not want it for that reason. So again, political reason, don't want to go there, get it. If it's a little too future forward for you, I understand that. If you're willing to look at it from that point of view, though, that you don't care about politics, you don't, you know, the future forward thing is either something you like or it doesn't bother you, I think that it's an easy slam dunk for the Model Y. I would personally go with that over this. So second one up here is, of course, the Chevy Blazer EV. Discuss that a little bit. These cars are very, very, very similar. And in a lot of ways, they're also not similar. I've pointed out that Apple CarPlay, Android Auto are part of the Honda Prologue. Got more buttons. The Blazer EV is more touchscreen. It's a little bit more Tesla-esque in that sense. But I think that that's again, I'd go with that. I thought that here, the thing is that the Blazer could start a little bit cheaper. It also goes higher because the SS, but you have more options. You can get a far more powerful vehicle, you know, a lot more horsepower, quicker vehicle, more luxurious vehicle in my mind. I would go with that. I understand, though, if you want Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, this would be a good version. If you don't want to quite spend as much as an SS and you're happy with getting just, you know, close enough, you get that too. But for me, the Honda badge doesn't mean as much as just like, which one do I think drives better, looks better? That's another thing. I think that both the Model Y and the Blazer EV look better than the Prologue.
I would go with that again. So there you go.
So that concludes our review for this week. I hope you enjoyed it and found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, always feel free to reach out right down there in the comment section. Happy to answer any questions you may have on this car. So for Vision Quest Auto, this is Frank Nieto, and we'll see you around.